We're here because we're celebrating two great things this time of the year here. Not only the great work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also the great work that we're going to be doing with ISU this year and in the future for our students here at Molton.
A National Day of Service on which citizens are asked to volunteer in honor of Dr. King. The day is an opportunity to reflect on what has been accomplished and to rededicate ourselves to the work that still remains to be done. And there's a lot of that. This is a day when we should ask ourselves, how can we better live out Dr. King's dream? I'm going to say it again. Every last one of you are capable of doing what it takes to go to college. I want you to commit yourselves today to doing what it takes to do well in the classroom, listen to your teachers, and I want you to graduate from high school, and I want you to come to Iowa State, and I want you to look at me and say, give me that money. All right? I want you to do that. I want you to look at me and say, here it is, I've graduated, you owe me some money. Can you do that? All right.
So we're here today putting together Meals from the Heartland meal packages with Molton staff and students, and we're having a great time. And this is Iowa State's way of supporting the partnership that we're building with King and Molton as part of the King-Molton Pathways to College initiative.
I believe the significance of Martin Luther King Day is big here, but I think it needs to be big everywhere. People need to really understand that these are people who have really worked hard in their lives to change the world, to make people understand diversity, to make people understand that it's not about just being selfish and doing things for yourself, but doing things for others. And so I think what's significant about that here at Molton is I'm trying to grow students who will go out in the world later on and want to really have that mentality and really work to just better themselves by serving others.
So we've been spending the last year doing a lot of the relationship building and trust building and information gathering that we need to do to build what will be the program components of the partnership. So I mean, we're working across a number of partnering bodies, right? So we've got the Iowa State School of Education, Extension and Outreach, and Financial Aid. And so those three units are working together to think about the kinds of in-school and out-of-school and financial resources that we're going to provide to King and Molton learners to make sure that they have access to college and hopefully to Iowa State.
I'm new to Molton this year, so this began way before me. Last year they kicked off a partnership with ISU, King Elementary, and Molton Extended Learning to provide support for not only their pre-service teachers at Iowa State, but also support for our students so that they can receive the best education possible and an opportunity to continue in their education and become cyclones at a later date after they graduate from high school. They're having a blast, and it just makes me a very proud principal to be able to serve them each day.
Youth Advisory Council was put together actually as an offshoot of the school board as a way to involve students in increasing engagement in extracurricular and co-curricular activities. This group in particular, the council as well as other clubs and organizations are out here today as a means to demonstrate service on MLK Day. I think it's a perfect way to express from students' perspectives as well as a district what service really means. And so we're here at the Central Iowa shelter to do that.
We're with the Roosevelt Interact Club that just started up, and that's just a philanthropy organization, and so this is our first community service project that we are doing, helping out with.
We'll be picking up trash. I think when we go inside the building, we'll also be doing some additional functions, maybe helping to organize their pantry, maybe doing some additional cleanup, those types of things, whatever we can do to kind of, again, demonstrate service and also leave our mark as a school district. So, I mean, I think, the bigger picture is not just about what happens today, but what today leads to as it relates to their future and getting them to see that they're a part of a bigger community. We're Des Moines Public, but every single one of our students, it's our hope that they'll graduate and they'll be in different places, and they will again demonstrate that same servitude and the same character that's required, that we believe that all of our students should be doing.
Today we will be doing a 2-mile march from the Capitol to Evelyn Davis Park to library. We're basically, these posters are basically like quotes from the activists that helped around in the civil rights movement when MLK was still alive, and what they stood for and what they had to protest. So 50 years later, we're doing a protest from here because we have a movement called Movement 515, and we have writing workshop, and a lot of schools come from East Hoover or Lincoln, and yeah. But there's a lot of North kids that come as well. Basically to get a message out to other people, since a lot of youth are struggling with gang violence and selling drugs, not having nobody to rely on. We're like a family that's gonna stand up for them if they need a voice or somebody that they need. Actually, we had 2 performances from Movement 515 at the Euclid Room. Devontae, Julio, and I performed our piece on youth gang violence, and Leah and Hattie performed their piece on pretty much the same thing, the same concept of the racism and the non-equality that was going on in that time.
April 4th, 1968, a king died, not one who lived in the castle, but
one that people worship like he had a crown on the top of his head. I should have known getting sprayed with a water hose was a bad thing, but in my backyard, getting sprayed with the ice cold water was a good thing.
It seems like yesterday a king's dream died in a click of a trigger, and now brothers got the scope locked and loaded, but they should be aiming at the future instead of educated souls. Sons getting blasted, mothers paying emotional tolls, saying their sons had a heart of gold, but worship the drug streets, that's why they sold their souls.
One who had a dream, but now we run from dogs as a game, but they ran from cop dogs, trying not to get the cops called when they were doing sit-ins. White schools they could never get in. Tired of being at the back of the bus, but now we go straight to it like we've been doing it for centuries. Still trying to get a Bentley, but the only way you can do it is selling weight, and now you got a court date, and now look where you are.
Locked behind a cell because you were chasing after gold bars, but ended up behind the silver ones.
The dream you was carrying got locked up with you.
So you never had a chance to open up your dreams and be successful like how you always dreamed about being. Now you got your son reading bullet shell cases instead of textbooks.
And you never got to take a second look. Now Martin Luther King is turning his grave.
Not trying to go back to the slave days.
Prison is like being a slave just without the chains. I can feel the American dream running through my veins. It's hard to be black when your whole race has been living in shame.
We took it as a game, now it's us getting played by the white man, not living the dream Martin had planned for us.
And we should stop paying so much money on shoes that basketball players haven't even worn yet and start paying more attention to the footsteps our heroes left us.
Unmask the criminals who are supposed to be heroes, but the color of their skin counted as zeros. No more snapbacks and tattoos because I'll carve clarity in my skin so you can picture me clearly.
I keep my head in books, no time for breaks, only success.